questions.
The science of archaeology is at its teething stage in Nigeria, as a result of which many of the dates we collected on the field of research are, so to say, disconnected. If we quote an example, we say that Nok has a date. Nok, of course, if we quote Taruga, has a date of 300 BC, while the earliest date for Ife is around 500 AD. Even Igboku will record 900 AD. We are therefore asking what was happening between the 300 BC and 500 AD of Ife. This is what the archaeologists refer to as the missing link. To be able then to fill up this missing link, we still have much research work to do in archaeology of this country so that we can have a complete picture of the history and the culture of the people of this country.
Discoveries continue to be made. Among these are the soapstones at the SCM Museum, north of the Kwara State capital. Similar archaeological works in the Delta continue to raise our hopes. Future discoveries of intermediary cultures may yet help further to bridge existing gaps.
There are specific things that we can see in the thing that were discovered at Onyoma and the site in the Nok area at Ulaira in Yelwa Emirate of Sokoto State, just above the Kanji Lake on the Niger. The two specific things that are most striking were in the terracotta figurines, where, like this one from Nok, from Yelwa, which is a Nok figurine, you see that the eyes are pierced. The pupils of the eyes are shown by a depression in the center of the place that represents the eyes. Now, you have an Onyoma figure here, which has the same way of indicating the pupil of the eye. That is one specific one. Then the other one is in the pottery. We found a lot of similarities between the pottery at Onyoma and the pottery at Ulaira, Yelwa, Sokoto State. Like this pot in Onyoma, you see that it is perforated. There are holes round the bottom of the pot. And there were similar pots at Yelwa. We believe that they were used for drying fish, smoked drying fish. Now, these are two specific similarities, and you might say maybe the places are too distant, that there might be coincidences. But when we also remember that the two places are linked by the Niger, and that the oral traditions also refer to movements along the Niger. And when you put this geographical fact along with the traditions and these types of similarities in the artifacts, we believe that there's a good case that there might have been contact along the Niger between the Niger Delta and the area of North.
Influences of the famous art centers would seem to have been widespread. Bronzes discovered in Tada, in Nupe land, have been attributed to Benin and Ife origins or artists. The ancient Tada bronzes are among the most sophisticated sculptures in Africa.
It is unlikely that there has been only one artistic tradition in Nigeria, with a linear collection between Nok, Igboukwu, Ife, Owo, and Benin. The point, however, is that there are enough similarities in the artistic heritage of Nigerian peoples to suggest intergroup linkages rather than mere coincidence. Religion unites Nigerians by about as much as it divides them. Islam, for example, cuts across different ethnic and linguistic groups. So does Christianity. But religion also divides adherents of each faith from those of the other, and both from those who hold on to traditional modes of worship. Traditional religion was an aspect of the culture of each ethnic group and community. Islam and Christianity, as world religions and religions of the book, shape the local culture more than culture is able to shape them. But it is on survivors of pre-Islamic and pre-Christian religion that we must focus to discover the peculiarities of local culture and the factors of intergroup linkages in the pre-colonial period. Observe how the rock broods like mother hen over the Egba people down below. Like other natural phenomena in different parts of the country, the Egba venerate the Olumo rock because of the crucial role which it once played in their history, at a very critical moment of their history. Think back to the 1820s, when the Egba, then living in over 130 towns and villages, were attacked systematically by their neighbors, and one after the other, the towns and villages were destroyed. The main Egba army took refuge along with Oyo and Ife armies in what is now Ibadan.
After some disagreements, they had to leave, and eventually they were seeking where to go. They believe that it was by divine guidance that they were led to this place. And since then, Olumo Rock has been their guardian angel.
Well, Olumo is very important to the Egba man. And the word Olumo means Oluwafimo. God has put an end to our journey. I said earlier on that during the course of the intertribal warfare between the Egba man, the Ijebu man, the Oyo man, the Ife man, and our neighboring people plus the Dahomians, we were going from place to place, looking for a place of refuge until we decided to come to the side of the Olumo. But for the Olumo, we would not have come to Egba land to stay. We came here first, we tested the soil of the place, and we saw the place of the Olumo that will be a sort of refuge against the onslaught of our enemies. So we decided to stay very near the Olumo. When we first came here in 1830, all the Egba people lived very near the Olumo. We were not as far away as it is today, because we believe God has made it the end of our journey from moving from one place to the other. So the significance of it is a place of refuge for a Egba man and a sacred place for us.
In pre-Islamic Hausa land, granite outcrops were known to have provided the earliest centers of religious and political influence. Such hills as Dala in Kano, Kwawan Dutse, and Kufena in Katsina, and Madarkarachi and Turunki in Zaria. Of them all, Kwatakwarshi exercised the widest influence, stretching over parts of Sokoto and Katsina states in the 15th century. Today, communal veneration of the rock is rare in Islamized areas, but it survives in the village of Kwatakarashi near Gusau in Sokoto State. In the village of Kwatakarashi, the worship of the rock continues side by side with Islam, but only as a shadow of its former self.
على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله.
The worshippers of the rock are now few. They have had to move into separate settlements to avoid molestation from Muslims. But they cannot get far away enough. Even their chants and liturgies have been influenced by Islam. The chief priest of the rock worship claims to be a Muslim, attends the mosque most of the time, and leads the villagers to the rock only on special occasions. Islam notwithstanding, the belief persists that the Ishoki of the awe-inspiring rocks that provided shelter and defensible sites in the past still needs to be appeased to secure healing for the sick, protection against evil forces, and ensure annual bumper harvest and prosperity for the community.
The rivers, streams, lagoons, and the sea play prominent roles in the religious systems of our people. And this for various reasons. First, in times of war, they have sometimes played important roles as defensive sites. In worship, there are important concepts of purification, carrying away the sins of the whole community. Then, for many, they provide opportunities for earning a living, providing also fertility for the soil. And so, for various reasons, rivers, streams, and the sea continue even today within Islam and Christianity to influence the attitudes of many people towards worship.
Oshogbo in northern Oyo State was a relatively small town until the coming of the railway in the early 20th century. Thus, in the colonial period, it became a major regional center, midway between Ilorin and Ibadan, a meeting point of northern and southern influences. The railway depot to which the cash crops of the whole region were brought for export, and a commercial center for the redistribution of imported goods. Today, Islam, Christianity, and traditional religions jostle side by side. But the veneration of Oshun, the river goddess, remains an affair of the whole community, irrespective of personal religions, beliefs, and affiliations.
History has it that Oshun was a spirit. It turned herself into a human being, a very beautiful lady, and later on she turned into a river, which we now know as the River Oshun. It is not only in Osogbo that Oshun River has been worshipped, but in all Yoruba land, all over Yoruba land. Oshun in Osogbo, we regard it as the seat of the Oshun goddess. Actually, it is not that river itself that has been worshipped. It is the spirit which is believed lives in the river.
Benin might appear today a landlocked kingdom, but it used to trade with Europeans across the seas and control the lagoon trade down to Lagos and beyond. Not surprisingly, therefore, the Edo shared with Yoruba, riverine peoples, the veneration of Olokun, the sea goddess. Ritual dance plays a prominent part in the act of worship of the Olokun as an invocation of the spirit of the goddess. It is also an important part of the initiation of new members, as on this occasion in a Benin village. The climax of the dance is when the spirit of the goddess noticeably takes control of the person of a member, that is, she is physically possessed. The water spirit also dominated the traditional religion of the Ijaw and other peoples of the river states. Most forms of illness were regarded as due to the attacks of malevolent water spirits requiring propitiation and sacrifice. Further, sacrifice and purification rites mark the initiation of a victim of such malevolent attacks into the cult as a devotee. The cause of the attacks and the necessary remedies are sought from a diviner. To make the cure permanent, the victim decides to seek initiation. Among the Ijaw, the water goddess is known as Ohumiri, which is usually translated into Pidgin English as Mami Water. Divination is, of course, an essential part of worship in Nigeria. Of particular interest are the specific forms and techniques of divination. Some of these are culture-specific, while most indicate considerable borrowing and sharing. Divination by cowrie shells is, for instance, to be found among the Olokun goddess priests. A more common form is palm knots and sand marking. Despite the different forms and paraphernalia, the basic underlying concept is the same. Divination as a form of worship poses a disordered universe, comprising on one side benevolent, sympathetic, and protective deities, and on the other, the malevolent and destructive deities. These two sets of supernatural powers are engaged in a continuous and relentless conflict. Divination and the sacrifices it prescribes come as a means of allowing man to maintain some order in his environment. The god or goddess of divination is thus the mouthpiece of all the other divinities, through which the wishes of both the malevolent and the benevolent forces are made known to man, and man is advised on how to maintain a healthy relationship with them. The god of divination also acts like an oracle when he is consulted, not for general advice, but for a specific yes or no answer. Such oracular devices are common and vary from mirrors to broomsticks. In this more elaborate process found in Bendel State, the spirit keeps the carriers immobile or moves them around involuntarily in response to particular inquiries.
Ifa divination is believed to have originated from Ife, from where we are now speaking. It is believed to have started with one of the Yoruba divinities known as Ifa or Orunmila. And from among the Yoruba, this form of divination spread to other parts of the country and other parts of West Africa. Today, the Ifa divination system is found not only among the Yoruba, but among the Edo-speaking peoples, among the Ijaw-speaking peoples. It is found among the Igbo of Nigeria, where it is known as Afa, and it is found in Cross River State, even as far north of Cross River State as among the Bete people, where Ifa divination has been used for centuries, more or less like a system of communication by writing.
The most common form of divination is with 4 strings, each with 4 palm knots. This is the system associated with the Yoruba Ifa and the Igbo Afa. It is also found among the Nupe, Igala, Edo, Idoma, and others. Among all these people, the divination process is virtually the same. So also are the names of 16 basic configurations, thus suggesting diffusion from one center.
àárín òróòsù òfun ìyẹ̀kú.
Among many southern Nigerian peoples, yam is the most precious fruit of the earth. Among the Igbo, some Ibibio and Ekoi, yam was the most important measure of wealth. In such places, the earth goddess, who was also the goddess of fertility, was most highly venerated. In some localities, she was regarded virtually as the supreme deity. The Yam Festival was the climax of the veneration of Mother Earth. It was an occasion of thanksgiving for all the blessings of fertility and to celebrate the annual cycle of birth and renewal and the harvest of new yams. It was often the most important festival of the annual calendar. In some places, no formal ceremonies can take place during the Yam Festival, and it was only after the rituals and sacrifices of the festival that people are allowed to cook or eat yams openly. Perhaps nowhere is the Yam Festival still observed with so much gusto as among the Igbo. The annual festival has been institutionalized into a homecoming and reunion for Igbo kith and kin from all over the land. Forms of yam festivals pervade most yam-producing areas of the country.
The significance of this is the ushering in of new harvest. Now, at the beginning of the Yam Festival, it shows the harvest at the farm is already to be brought home. And it is not only the yam, but all other crops. It shows that they are ready, and in order to appease the gods, to let the harvest be a bumper one, celebrations are made with great rejoicing amidst the populace.
In many places, the harvest, Thanksgiving aspects of the Yam Festival are integrated into whatever is the titulary god or goddess of the particular community, while the Yam Festival as such is performed on a much lower key. In some places, it is Ogun. In others, it could be Shango or Oshun or Okebadan. But the primacy of the Yam Festival remains unchallenged among the Igbo. The surviving practices and modes of worship and of traditional religion in Nigeria again indicate the unities and diversities in the religious substructure beneath the dominant influence of Islam and Christianity. The making of masks is today part of the general craft and artistic industry of the people. And this is what, of course, it has always been. But when this same mask gets into a shrine, it becomes a ritual object which is no longer used